Hello and welcome to Grim Survival. It has been several days since I've posted a video. My schedule has been absolutely chaotic. Day shift, night shift, day shift. It keeps changing on me. But hey, by next week, I obviously will have plenty of extra time to get some videos out because, yeah, my job doesn't like me. Anyway, so, this is going to be another video of the harvest update. This is a December update, obviously. All video that you're going to see here, every clip was recorded on December 18th, which is the same time I'm recording this. I hope to have the video up later this evening, but maybe it won't get posted until early morning on the 19th. So, wish me luck either way. When you see it, yeah, it was the best as I could do, so I tried. Before I get started and show you these clips, I do have a special request, and I am going to do it here on this particular video. My wife has a friend and co-worker. Her name is Heather. She works with my wife and has for, I don't exactly remember how long it's been, but a couple of months ago, I think it's been a couple of months now, she was diagnosed with stage 2 cancer. She has 2 children and is now being told that she has to go on radiation treatment, chemotherapy, and things like that. She has 2 small children, and currently she's waiting for her short-term disability to kick in. And anybody who has ever had to wait on government assistance, you know that this process takes quite a long time. I was told that her electric got shut off while she was waiting due to, our government being what they are. Basically, we are going to ask for prayers and help. You're going to see the link to her to GoFundMe page down below. She's not asking for much. She just needs help to keep her electricity and bills paid until short-term disability kicks in. So I'm posting that link in the description of this video. Please check it out if you can. I would ask to help her out. I know we're trying, but myself personally, I'm obviously short on funds, and I've just lost my job. So, yeah. Any help you guys can give over to her would be greatly appreciated. No amount is too small. Keep that in mind. $1 does go a long way. If all you have is a dollar does go a long way. Just think if 1,000 people donate $1, then yeah, that's $1,000. So yeah, every little amount helps. So if you can, please. Also, keep her in your prayers. All right, getting to it, I got, like I said, several clips. I actually managed to get out and look through. I walked through a single soybean field and a single corn field. Now, these were the only 2 that parking along the sides of cornfields is not an easy thing to do when you're driving down these farm roads. And it's even more difficult, as you will see, there's about a foot of snow on the ground. So you cannot see any places to park. One of these clips, I literally stopped in the traffic lane and it sat there for about 5 minutes and 2 cars went around me at the time. Luckily, it wasn't very busy. I was on a farm road. But anyway, without me yapping anymore, let's get right to it. So you can see I did a voiceover of these videos. I didn't record any audio while I was doing it because of just loud vehicles and traffic and things like that. So anyway, let's get to it. All right, let's start by taking a look at successful farming. I do this often in my videos. This is an article that was posted in December 2nd, 2019. U.S. corn harvest still not finished, according to the USDA, and it just says the same thing, really. The U.S. farmers have not completed the 2019 corn and soybean harvests yet, and this is obvious to those who have been paying attention or anyone watching my videos. In this weekly USDA crop progress report, the USDA pledged that the unit pegged the U.S. corn harvest at about 89% complete. So, yeah, that's what it says. Let's have a look. This was updated Monday, so that was December. That article is December 2nd. This is a more recent update. U.S. says the overall U.S. corn harvest percentage is about 92% complete right now. Here we're seeing the stats for Indiana alone, obviously down here in the corner. This year, 96% complete. Last year, we're usually done. Illinois, same thing, 96% complete. Last year, usually complete. So that's where we're at with the corn harvest so far. I will show you some videos of what I've seen here soon. I can agree about 96% complete probably is accurate for Indiana. All right, this is really where you want to pay attention to the numbers here. 2019 corn crop condition. The U.S. this year, excellent condition, 11%. Good condition, 47%. Obviously, I'm going to look at Indiana, and excellent this year is 5%, and good this year in Indiana is 31%, and that's obviously a pretty
bad number. Where is the other 42%? I'm missing 42% here. Can anybody find it for me? Because it's not being listed here or anywhere according to the USDA. But let's go back and see what the USDA had to say back in August. Back in August, they were not able to plant crops on more than 19.4 million acres. That's this year. 73% of those not planted were in the 12 Midwestern states that plant mostly corn, soybeans, and wheat. All right, so let's have a look over here where 90 million acres of land are planted to corn. This is also according to the USDA. Now, this is on average 90 million acres are planted to corn. So if you remember correctly, back over here, you know, we're missing 42% of the corn crop. It's just gone. I mean, obviously it's in less than good condition, whatever that means. Usable is questionable in my opinion. If you've seen some of my videos, and I'll try to throw up a clip here. If you've seen some of the corn that I have seen, you'll know that, yeah, obviously Indiana, and a lot of these were recorded in Illinois also, but yeah, our corn conditions not usable, I would say. All right, so doing the numbers here, 90 million acres were planted to corn, so 73%, where was it? 73%, you know, this isn't all corn, but 73% in the Midwestern states, and that's about, if it was just corn, that would be about 14 million acres. And yeah, that's, you know, it's all corn, soybeans, and wheat. So 90 million acres is just corn. That would be about 14 million acres of just corn if it was just corn. So, you know, keep that in mind. The numbers aren't going to be all that accurate. So that would leave us with 76 million acres planted. And, you know, we have to take away the 42% here because we're just missing 42%. So that would be about 32 million acres of usable corn if that was just a corn crop. But we're not just talking about corn, obviously. And here I'm going to show you the videos I have of the corn crops that I have seen. Here I drive past just a couple of cornfields. You're going to, you know, if you pay close attention, you can see the amount of ice that has formed there at the base of, you know, this particular cornfield. And just pay attention to that. We'll be talking about that here in a little while. Obviously, this corn is still standing here. We're, you know, past the middle point of December. We're a week away from Christmas now, and as you can see, there are still standing cornfields in Indiana. And here you're seeing quite a bit more ice that has formed in front of this particular cornfield. Moving on, this is another standing cornfield in a different area. I was mostly south and southwest of Indianapolis when I was recording these videos, and that'll give you a general vicinity. I was a good 50 miles away from the city. But yeah, this is common really for everywhere I've gone throughout the state of Indiana. Is a lot of fields are just some standing corn here or there, and you'll see it in patches. There'd be a good large area of harvested corn and then 2 or 3 unharvested areas. Here you're going to see just how soft the ground is. If you see me stick my boot in there, more ice. I would like you to look at all the ice. And yeah, I am actually walking up to a cornfield here in this particular video. The corn doesn't look too bad to me in this particular field. Better than most of the fields I have visited, that's for sure. And I get a pretty good look at a couple of them here or there. I do, you know, open it up and take a look inside. So, yeah, the corn doesn't look bad at all. It is frozen. I can tell you for a fact that is some frozen corn. The temperatures haven't rose above freezing in weeks now in this particular area. The temperature at the time of this recording was around 20 degrees Fahrenheit, and the low that morning was below 5 degrees Fahrenheit. So yeah, it's been fairly cold in the area for quite a while now. And yeah, frozen cornfields, that's what I'm looking at. Here we're just taking a look at a few more corn cobs, just looking in to see what we can see. And yeah, it's not too bad, like I said, but it is frozen. The problem is you cannot get any equipment in there. If you remember the ice from the beginning of the clip, there's no way to get equipment in there to harvest this corn. So it is just going to sit in the field frozen. And whether or not that'll ever be usable is questionable. All right, let's go back to the successful farming. All these numbers do come from the USDA. Just a reminder there. We're looking at soybean harvest now. Currently, we're at 96% harvested for soybeans. Let's take a look at Indiana. Indiana this year is 99%. Last year was 100% for soybeans. Illinois is 100%. They've gotten all their soybeans out. So that's all nice and green. Yeah, anyone in Illinois, let me know if you've seen any soybeans standing, because I find that to be odd. In Indiana, I really find the 99% to be an odd thing, just because from what I've seen, 99% is, yeah, questionable. I've seen a lot more standing soybean fields in Indiana than I have corn. But who am I to argue with the USDA, right? All right, let's go over here for just a moment. This is the 2019 soybean crop condition. This year, 9% was in excellent condition. 45% was in good condition. So, that's 54, right? I'm not the best at math here, but I'm pretty sure 45 and 9, 54, right? That's correct. So 54%. Where's that's 46% then would equal 100 if I'm not mistaken. So we're missing 46% of the soybean crops just disappeared. That aliens took it, or maybe it was Trump's fault. I don't know. But the USDA just doesn't count it, I guess. So if they're not counting it, I'm not counting it. So I'm going to say, yeah, what was it? 46% of the entire soybean crop is just unusable. That's what I'm just going to guess. Again, I do hope I'm wrong, but the things I'm seeing are just it's not adding up to the numbers that they're giving me. Here is one of the soybean crops that I have come across, and we'll go ahead and count this one as unusable. If you look at it, obviously the very dark colors you're seeing, it's mold. These things are very frozen. It was frozen solid. That one absolutely just fell off in my hand. I didn't pull on it or anything. It just kind of fell off. But yeah, this is one of the many soybean fields I have seen standing throughout Indiana. Obviously, this one has quite a bit of snow on the ground. I believe this area got 4 to 6 inches of snow over the previous 3 to 4 days. But all over the eastern sides of Indiana, all the way from Seymour, Indiana, all the way up to Fort Wayne, Indiana, I've seen soybean fields standing. So I'm really having a hard time believing the numbers that they're giving me. Here is the soybean, the little soybean pod that fell off in my hand. This is my one-handed attempt to break it open. Now, if these things were dry, they would just snap right open. This one isn't as dark as some of the other ones I had seen, but as you can see, I'm just bending this. It was frozen, so what happened is it had dried out in the vehicle before, and yeah, it just became very soft. Next is my attempt again at opening this with two hands, and it's really hard to get over. You see how fibrous it is. It's just it's been so wet in these soybean fields for so long, and then they just froze, and the moisture just got locked in there. So as you can see, it's just very soft, and obviously the squishy feeling and things of my fingers is not pleasing me from the look of on my face. Narrating my own self opening things is odd. I should have done this while I was doing it, but yeah, I was kind of busy. Anyway, these are the soybeans inside the pod. They do not look good. They're not supposed to be that color. If you just Google what a soybean looks like when it comes out of there, that is not what it is supposed to look like at all. These obviously have been exposed to mold and had started to rot before the freeze came and froze them in the condition that I found it in. So yeah, this is just my attempt to show you the soybeans and the little soybean pod that it came in. I do end up breaking it open up quite a bit further, but it's really just a soft, squishy little fibrous thing, and it's rather difficult to work with it at all. You have to twist it in several it's just really difficult to get it out of there. This is not how it's supposed to be. Just look up how soybeans are supposed to come out of there when they harvest them and how they work and what they look like, because this is definitely not it. Now, if you remember all the moisture that you have been seeing in the previous clips, my foot sinking in the mud there, all the ice that we have seen on the fields, and here's a look of quite a bit of snow that we've had the past 3 or 4 days. Previous to this recording, we had quite a bit of snow, and this is obviously standing soybean. If you can kind of see it right in here where it slows down. That is a huge patch of soybeans right out there, and again, I'm seeing soybeans all over the state still standing, and I really don't agree with those numbers at all. But this right here is just the importance of all the ice you're seeing on these fields is that the moisture under this ice was there months prior to this. From the spring, this moisture has just been sitting there in these fields. It has nowhere to go. The more it rains, it just stays on top, and now you have it all frozen. As you see, there's just ice in all of these fields. They're all covered in it, ice, and now you have snow packing on top of the ice, which insulates it, keeps the ice there even longer, and the ground underneath the ice is frozen because it is so wet, and it just freezes deeper and deeper, which means it thaws. It takes longer to thaw in the spring and creates more moisture in the soil all spring. So this is going to be a very big problem when it comes time to plant. All right, just for a moment, I'd like to talk about the grim side of all of this. Obviously, food shortages and the looming possibility of crop failures and food shortages coming next year is not, is grim all on its own. But let's talk about, just for a moment, who is affected first. I mean, who really is the hardest hit by this? Who's going to be the first ones to see it? So here we are taking a look at welfare statistics. This is from a site called Lexington Law. Now, this is a financial website here. Cost of welfare programs. And this is going to be statistics from 2018. A total of $445 billion spent on welfare programs in America. 5.6% of the total government spending in 2018 in the United States went toward welfare programs like unemployment, workers' compensation, housing assistance, $47.9 billion. But here's the big number: family and children assistance, $268 billion. Now, this is where the food comes in. These numbers right here, the $268 billion, that's food. People who couldn't feed themselves and relied on the government to feed them. This is welfare recipients by state. Now, you can just see here in the millions is what these numbers are. In places like Texas, population, and food stamp recipients right here, over 3 million people in May of 2019, and it looks like 3.6. It's dropped off a little bit in 2019 as opposed to 2018, a little over 3.6 million there. California is obviously right up there with them. They have 3.6 in 2019. 3.6 million people are receiving food stamps, and that's still dropped from last year where it was almost 4 million. 3.6 million people receiving food stamps in just that state. Now, we could go here, just take a look in Indiana. There's over 500,000 people right now in Indiana receiving food stamps. And obviously, the bigger populations are going to be the bigger numbers, like the 2.6 million you're seeing here in New York. The point of all this is these are the people that are going to feel it first when food shortages come. When you cannot, feed, a lot of these people rely on government assistance, and a lot of them go to food banks even then, because if you've ever been on government assistance or welfare, you know that it's generally not enough. So you usually don't get enough food from welfare or food stamps to feed your entire family and your children and yourself. So you rely on food banks a lot also, and food banks are obviously always getting hit. But this time of year, this was supposed to November, this was just before Thanksgiving. This time of year, food banks are really finding it hard to keep up. You can see about 600 food pantries right here are trying to feed I'm trying to find the volumes here. It's just basically, it tells you, here we go. served nearly 30,000 turkeys, and this is just in one area. This is posted by the New York Times, so this is just in New York. 30,000 turkeys were given out, and then they started giving out chickens when they ran out of turkeys. Last year, the food bank distributed more than 400,000 servings of vegetables, and that's the sides, obviously, as you're seeing right here. So it's really the poor people that are going to feel this first. They are going to feel it in the food pantries when they're not getting that many donations to the food pantries, because people that donate to these types of places can no longer feed themselves, so they are no longer donating it. So that's really when you're going to start seeing a lot of, hard times for poor people. Obviously, people who are on government assistance like this are obviously going to feel it first. And yeah, I mean, that's just how it is. That's the grim side of it right there, is somebody has to go first. We now know who it is.
Welcome back again, and as you just seen, there is still standing corn this close to Christmas. I mean, we are, a week away from Christmas right now, and we still have corn and soy standing in the fields. This is just something I personally have never seen before. I've never seen standing crops with snow on them almost Christmas time. I've never seen it. So yeah, and this isn't even the worst area. Obviously, Indiana has not gotten the worst weather as in the Farm Belt as a lot of people have. Just Wisconsin in particular they've been dumped with snow. Probably over a foot of snow since October, something like that. So their crops are just buried in it. You cannot get them out. All the ice that I've shown you, obviously these fields, they're not going to dry up in the spring. So we're going to look at, my predictions are a hard planting season ahead, and those are my predictions. But hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully. But yeah, it's pretty bad out there. It's looking really grim. A lot of people. And I've seen the comments, well, one or two fields here and there, but okay, so one or two fields here and there that I'm showing you. Okay, I'll show you one or two fields here and there over the course of probably about 20 miles of driving. So do the math on that. How many acres did I pass in 20 miles? And in only 20 miles to one or two fields. Now, if you're seeing one or two fields every 20 miles, how many fields really are not harvested yet? You're looking at tens of thousands of acres of unharvested crops. Now, these are the crops, as I said in other videos, this is the feed corn and the feed soy. This is what we're feeding the pigs, the chickens, the cows. So this is what your food is eating. Your food has to eat. If you are a meat eater, you eat meat, beef, chicken, all that stuff. So that's what your food eats. Your food has to, eat to stay alive also, in case you were unaware. So that being said, yeah, the meat prices are starting to go up already. I've seen it. I've noticed it. And in previous videos a couple of months ago, if you were paying attention, meat prices were really low. I was picking up ground beef like you would, pounds and pounds for less than $1 a pound in some cases. So, yeah. Prices are going back up. Pay attention to your stores because it's going to be a continuing trend. I expect prices by this time next year to double what they currently are on pretty much all food products. Now, that is just my prediction. I hope I'm wrong again. You never know. I could be wrong, but if I'm right, then we are all looking at hard times. All of us. It's not going to be good. Chaos obviously isn't going to come out immediately because people are oblivious. People just don't know what we're facing. And you're not going to really see any kind of panic or chaos or anything like that until after. And what I mean by after is after people really start going hungry. People that normally would have an abundant amount of food, we're talking, middle class workers, truck drivers, things like that, when they start having to go hungry or where their kids start going hungry, that's when you're really going to see the panic, and that's when you're really going to start seeing chaos. So yeah, we're not there yet, obviously, and this isn't a doomer kind of video where I'm going to say we're all going. No, it's not happening right now. Right now we're seeing prices increase, we're seeing quantities decrease. We've been seeing that for months. We've actually been seeing that for years. If you look back into the I believe it was 2012, 2013, a lot of food prices went up and a lot of the quantities went down, and it stayed like that. So it's now decreasing anymore when it comes to your quantities. If you just look at any bag of bacon, cereal, coffee, whatever it is, the quantity that you used to get is now, it's not the same. So just pay attention to what you're buying, because if you pay attention to what you're buying, then they can't fool you, because they will try. They'll, the same size package is going to have the less amount of stuff in it for the same price. If you pay attention to that, then that I'm not completely crazy. So yeah, just pay attention for yourself. Watch what's going to happen. Watch what is currently happening. It's not going to get better until we have a good growing season, and we had a really bad growing season this year, and we're predicting a really bad growing season next year. So prepare. Get your food storage. If you don't have it, go buy it. Right now, prices are still relatively cheap enough that even middle class workers can afford it. Even lower class people can afford it. If you are poor and you're watching this video, why do you have internet? Go take that internet money and go buy food. You don't need internet more than you need food. And trust me, if I was starving to death, I would not be on this video. I would be, grocery shopping. So don't be a snowflake. Yep. All right, that was my snowflake plug for the week. Yeah, that's going to be about enough of this video. Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe, share, pass the word, share the word. Tell people that, at least your immediate people. Don't tell everybody. You tell everybody we're all SOL, but tell the people immediately close to you. Tell your coworkers if you like them enough. Okay, that's enough. You guys, see you later. Yeah, I'll try to get more videos up next week. Obviously, I'll have a lot more time to do so. See you later.